Samantha Adams has just finished her nursing shift and is heading home. But as she turns to an isolated street, she can't shake the feeling of being followed. Her fears come true when 5 hooligans, Pest, Dennis, Jerome, Biggs, and leader Moses, block her way and mug her. But fate has something else planned for them because just then a meteorite falls from the sky on a car parked nearby, forcing the group to run. Samantha takes the opportunity and escapes. The kids think it must be fireworks and plan to steal the valuables from the damaged car. Moses searches the wreckage when suddenly a dog-sized creature attacks him. It scratches his face, but Moses uses his pocket knife to stab it before it flees. But Moses wouldn't let it go that easily because the creature scratched the only spot unprotected by their street uniform. They chase the creature and end its life, thinking it's just a weird-looking monkey. They realize that the creature is an alien, only after they look at the corpse closely. They plan to use the alien corpse to gain fame and earn money. The boys take the alien corpse to their acquaintance and weed dealer Ron because he watches National Geographic. They reach their project's Wyndham Towers to meet him and realize Ron's boss, Hi-Hats, a local drug lord, is also there. Hi-Hats, however, shows little interest in the alien and recruits Moses. But before they can celebrate getting their first gig, they notice more meteorites fall from the sky. The gang gets excited at the prospect of an alien invasion because that means they can play the video game Space Attack in real time. The kids gear up with fireworks, machetes, baseball bats, katana, and a pit bull puppy, Pogo, and rush to the nearest crash site. There, they find a round, ball-like ship, and inside the ship there's a dead alien. However, it seems there are live ones nearby as they hear the creature's shrieks. Dennis's dog, Pogo, runs towards the sound, but the alien eats the poor dog. When the boys finally spot the alien, which is bigger in size, darker than pitch black, and more dangerous than the one they first saw earlier, they run to save their asses. However, their problems double when they get chased by the police accompanied by Samantha, because Samantha reported them. The gang on their bicycles and scooters split up, but they get intercepted by 2 police officers and Moses gets caught. The policemen search him and find him in possession of a blade and the substance that Hi-Hats had given him to sell. But little do they know, the bigger aliens, with glow-in-the-dark teeth, have followed Moses. The unarmed policemen lock Moses in the van but get mauled by the aliens, leaving Samantha and Moses trapped inside the van. Moses' gang, who's hiding nearby, uses fireworks to scare away the aliens. Dennis grabs his scooter and equips himself with a katana before diving into the smoke near the van. He opens the door and climbs inside when he almost loses his leg from an alien bite. Dennis takes the wheel and they speed off, heading straight for a nearby parking complex. However, he crashes the van into Hi-Hats' car, not being used to driving anything larger than a scooter. Moses' gang faces an enraged Hi-Hats and his henchmen. Samantha manages to flee the van when Hi-Hats confronts them and Pest tries to explain they were running from alien gorilla wolf thingies. This only makes Hi-Hats angrier, thinking it's a made-up story because Moses and his gang are trying to take his place as the block's new drug lord. Just as the situation peaks with Hi-Hats aiming his gun at them, an alien attacks Hi-Hats' henchman, ripping out his vocal cord. Hi-Hats starts shooting the alien and finishes it off. The distraction allows Moses and his gang to escape. The gang decides to go back to Wyndham Tower and soon take off on their bikes and bicycles. However, on their way, they're attacked by the alien, forcing them to split. Since Biggs and Jerome are riding on a bicycle, they're slower and the alien goes after them. Jerome stumbles with the bicycle while Biggs starts running and the alien chases him. This forces Biggs to hide in a dumpster when another alien joins the chase. But to his surprise, 2 9-year-old gangster wannabes appear and eliminate the alien, thus saving Biggs. The rest of the gang members make it to the building, Pest being the last who's inches away from being devoured. As he enters the building, the rest of the gang closes the door, but the alien manages to break the glass with its head and bite Pest's leg. Pest uses the baseball bat to hit the alien, who lets go of his leg but not before biting off a chunk of his flesh. He screams in pain as his friends pull him to safety. Coincidentally, Samantha also lives in Wyndham Towers, and when she sees the gang, she thinks they're after her for snitching on them. She tries running inside her apartment and closing the door behind her, but Moses blocks the door and forces his way in with his gang. Samantha shuts herself in the bedroom while the gang looks for first aid to stop Pest's bleeding leg. Samantha picks up a guitar and threatens them to leave her apartment, but the boys ignore her empty threats. They find her ID, which states she's a nurse, and they demand she fix Pest's leg. They tell her they're on the same side now since the situation has changed. It's them against the aliens. Samantha doubts the information about aliens and still thinks they're huge dogs. Nevertheless, she helps treat Pest's wounds. They're startled by a loud thud on the door. Moses takes the baseball bat and cautiously proceeds to the door, only to find that the alien has followed them there. The alien breaks open the door and attacks them, but Moses silences it by stabbing it with a katana ninja style. Samantha finally believes they're fighting aliens and decides to join the gang. The gang, armed with weapons, go to Tia's apartment, believing the security gate on her door will help keep them safe. Tia has a crush on Moses and is enjoying a girls' get-together in her flat with Dimples, Deanna, and Gloria. She lets the group in, and as they're talking, Samantha reveals how the boys mugged her. Hearing this, Tia gets upset with Moses as she disapproves of his criminal lifestyle. She goes to open the window and sees a pair of glowing teeth outside. The aliens attack them and decapitate Dennis. The aliens sniff out Moses and are about to attack him, but Tia takes a lamp and attacks one of the aliens. She lures it into her bedroom, where she and Dimples gang up on it and eliminate it. Moses tries attacking the other alien, but gets his katana stuck in the wall. So Samantha jumps in and stabs it to death. The girls realize the aliens are after Moses and ask him to leave. Meanwhile, Hi-Hats calls in reinforcements and two of his henchmen promptly appear. They arrive with news of police barricades scattered around the city, a direct consequence of the recent alien chaos, and suggest they should lay low. But Hi-Hats is high on a cocktail of adrenaline and fury and has no intention of cooling off. Hi-Hats commands his crew into the car. As they set off, he dives into recounting the day's events and spends more time eyeing his backseat audience than the road ahead, prompting the henchmen to wear seatbelts. Just when the gang runs out of the flat, they're attacked by Hi-Hats and his henchmen. The gang runs, but before Hi-Hats can chase them, an alien walks out of the apartment, blocking their way. Hi-Hats thinks it's going to be an easy target, just like the last one, but this alien is bigger and stronger and chases Hi-Hats and his men into the elevator. Only Hi-Hats comes out alive from the elevator. Meanwhile, the group is joined by Brewis, one of Ron's customers, and they decide the safest place for them would be Ron's green room. On their way, they come across more aliens, so they use fireworks as a distraction, but Jerome becomes disoriented in the smoke and is eliminated by the alien. The group reaches Ron's apartment, where Hi-Hats is waiting, prepared to shoot Moses, but an entire alien squad attacks Hi-Hats through the window and eliminates him, and the rest of the gang rush to the green room. There, Moses notices his jacket glowing in the ultraviolet light. Brewis, who's also a zoology student, suggests the glowing liquid on Moses' jacket might be a pheromone sprayed by a female alien, the one they first killed. He further suggests that the bigger aliens, males, might drift through space on solar winds like spores, and wherever they land, the female leaves a pheromone trail for them to follow to breed. Moses declares that he's the reason the aliens followed them to the block and that he'll lead them out where he can blow them up. They plan to send Samantha to Moses' apartment because she hasn't been staying. Moses also persuades Pest to give back Samantha's ring that they had stolen while mugging her. Samantha successfully runs to the apartment and turns on the gas stove. Meanwhile, Moses ties the dead female alien to his back and runs out of the green room. He leads all the male aliens to his apartment and throws the female in. Once all the aliens hurtle around the corpse, Moses lights a firework and blows up his apartment and the aliens along with it. To save himself, he jumps out of the balcony and hangs on for dear life by grabbing onto a flag hanging from a balcony. He somehow manages to safely get to the balcony below. The blast leaves the building in flames, and soon the police and the fire department arrive. They arrest Moses, Pest, Brewis, and Ron on the charge of the deaths around the block. The police question Samantha and ask her to identify the boys, but she tells the officers that Moses and his group are her neighbors and they protected her from the attack. Biggs, who's in the crowd, starts cheering for Moses, and the residents join in, making Moses, who's sitting in the police van, smile. That's a wrap for today's recap of the horror movie Attack the Block. To get your limited edition glow-in-the-dark aliens, click on the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you never miss such thrilling deals.